Hey everybody, welcome back to a video. Wanted to hit a topic that I haven't chatted about in a while, but I got a comment from, I got a couple of comments recently where people are commenting about, wow, your story is exactly like mine. Feels like you're living my life, or it feels like I'm reading, or not reading, but hearing about my own story. One of the things that's really interesting about this is that these people exhibit the same patterns of behavior. And typically it doesn't matter if it's a man or a woman. That comment, that type of comment of, oh my God, this is so similar. Your story is so similar to mine. That's why I get that from both men and women. I think the reality behind this, and this is probably, if you're early into this, one of the questions that a lot of people have, because they try to wrap their head around it. They try to look at the situation and figure out, why, what's going on, why are they acting a certain way, and then you start searching and you find information. This is my opinion on it. I think when I've had discussions with like Chris Godinez, if I remember correctly, she's agreed with this, but typically what happens with somebody who has a personality disorder or somebody who really falls into that, they've had some type of trauma in their life, and they typically had it at a younger age. And one of the symptoms, I guess, that manifests out of this is the person, the toxic ex, the narcissistic person, the person who probably could have an undiagnosed personality disorder, gets basically stuck at the mental development age of that trauma. So if they have abandonment issues, or if they've been in a really bad family life, or their emotional needs weren't met, they get stuck at that age. So if that happened at 7 or 5 or 14 or whatever the age is, that's the person you're dealing with. And the really sad thing about it is they don't generally progress from that. They're basically trapped at that level and they don't move forward. So the other thing that's really frustrating is you go through this and the person never changes. You'll be in a situation and you're like, oh my God, it's been 10 years and they're still acting the same. Well, it's because they're stuck at that emotional maturity age. Now, if you have children, then, and you did any research on kids whenever, back in the day, that kids at certain developmental ages go through certain behaviors, certain traits. So if you think about it, if you take a person who's stuck at a certain age, it would make sense that, your adult equivalent 10-year-old is the same as my adult equivalent 10-year-old. And they do the same type of things. They play the same games. They do the same type of behaviors. The only problem is you're talking about a person who is 30 or 40 or 50 still doing those same behaviors. The sad reality is there's not much that we can really do about this. You're not going to be able to get through to the person. You're not going to be able to push them to grow and mature. If you do, all you're going to get is this endless do loop of conflict. Basically it kind of rolls into that analogy of, getting in the mud with a pig. So, they like it, so they'll enjoy it. They enjoy the chaos. The flip side to this, or the reality of this, is these people are scared to death to confront what has happened to them, to be able to grow from it. It's actually really sad when you think about it, because you got a person who all the tools are at their disposal. They could wake up at any day, they could wake up and say, you know what, I'm done, I want to be better, and make a decision to do it. But to confront their reality is something they won't do. That's why they always want to be a victim. That's why whenever you call them on it, they typically will do what a lot of people call a narcissistic rage, where they just fly out of the handle and they try to dominate the conversation or deflect so that they don't have to look at themselves. one of the things you'll notice, or one of the things I guess I've noticed, is you take somebody who's a target of one of these people, and as soon as they start learning about it, the first question I always get is, oh my God, am I the narcissist? Is it me? Did I do all this stuff? I have, like the narcissistic fleas. Somebody was asking about that the other day too. And a normal person will look at it and go, oh crap, I don't want to be this way. I want to be better. I want to grow. I don't want to have to deal with this emotional chaos of my own design. So you, especially if you're at this channel, because most people who aren't really trying to heal, they don't stick around on this channel. So on the flip side to it is you have a person, like I was just talking about, who won't do any of the work. They will maintain that they're the victim. They will maintain that you're the bad guy. They'll maintain that everyone else is against them. They may not say it that way, but you'll notice in their story, it's like, oh, why do I always pick the bad guy? Why do I always pick the bad woman? And they never take a pause and say, well, I'm a common denominator on that. What's my role in this? And probably if you're on this, and I'm curious if you have, let me know in the comments below, have you had that phase where you're like, oh crap, is it me? Did I do, oh shoot, did I do this? Am I doing this? Am I really the narcissist? Because, the other thing is it's like, you'll hear people say, well, a narcissist doesn't know. So then you'll be like, well, I'm wondering, so, I wouldn't know. So maybe I am, right? I mean, I don't know how many times I went through the same thing, right? I remember, fortunately, I had a good therapist at the time. So when I was having this awareness or awakening of what I was dealing with, I went into my therapist one point and I'm like, oh my God, I can see some of these traits on this, when you says what a narcissist is, and I can see me doing some of these things, oh my God, do I not know? I mean, the benefit is this person had been working with me, and her comment was, look, you've been a client for, 2 or 3 years. No, you're not. I mean, she was like, I would know working with you all this time if that was you. And typically what she said to me is, if you're worried about it, if you're going, oh my God, am I this? You're not, because a narcissistic person will never look at themselves as the problem and want to heal from it. It's always somebody else. It's always someone else's issue. So if you find yourself in a situation where you're like, holy crap, these stories are so familiar, that's why. You got a person who's trapped at a lower age, and they can't break free. And it's really tough. And the sad part about it is no one else sees it. Everyone else looks and they see an adult. They see, oh my God, this person's a 40-year-old person. And, obviously if there's something wrong, it must be both. They're both, both parties are being difficult. That's really tough too, right? Whenever you get that little, boop, jab in the eye where someone's like, well, if you would just stop being difficult, it would be fine. One of you has to be an adult. And then the problem is if one person decides to stay in the mud, there's no way you can change. You can get them to change. You're not going to convince your ex to crawl out of the mud and start to grow up. It just isn't going to happen. So here's the thing. I know that may sound depressing. So if you're at this stage, or if you're at the beginning stages of this and you're just learning about it, and you're like going, oh my God, I'm stuck with this forever. Well, in some ways the answer is yes, but the thing that changes, you remember correctly when I was talking at the beginning part of this video, you can grow. You can emotionally heal from this. Your life can improve. Yes, you're going to have this albatross, this boat anchor around your neck, but you can learn how to mitigate it. You can learn how to tie that thing off to where it's not, it's not dragging you down, that you can do things to mitigate it, that you can position yourself to limit the negative impact on your life. Now, I get that it's really tough when you have children because they're stuck in that. But even with that, even in that scenario, you can still be the stable parent. You can be the light to help the kids get to see that there's another way. Unfortunately, you're not going to be able to sit there and say, well, let me tell you about personality disorders. You're not going to be able to do that. You're not going to be able to itemize out what's wrong with the other parent. What you have to do is you have to be that stable rock of a person that the kids can see the difference, and you can have conversations to help them understand that you don't have to live like that. That living under constant chaos is not normal, and it's not something that they have to do. So curious what you think about this video. I was interesting because I'm pointing at my phone. There was a lot of recently I've been getting comments like that. It's like, oh my God, your story is similar to mine, and it's like it goes through phases. I've seen that in the from the years on this. There's a time where it'll cycle through, and that'll be the topic or the comment of the day, so to speak. So. Definitely would like to hear what you have to think. If you like this channel, please consider subscribing. Ring the bell notification so you don't miss anything. If you really like what's going on and you want to help keep the lights on, scroll on down, become a channel member. Hell, even the smallest level, all of that adds up to help. And if you know somebody who could use this video, share it with them. And I will chat with you on the next video. Take care.